Hi. I took a video of myself throughout the afternoon today, doing what I do. I thought, I don't know, that might be interesting. I had a couple of people ask me about doing like a sort of vlog, I guess. And I thought, well, I don't do a lot of traveling or anything like that to warrant vlogging, but I do a lot of stuff when I'm here at home on a day off. So today I made a loaf of whole wheat bread, and I did a bunch of ditch stitching on my 2 sections of basted quilt that I have ready. And so I did a bunch of sewing basically and made bread, and I got to enjoy that bread with my cup of leftover soup from the other day. So I think I put that in the thumbnail. I took a picture of myself with my bread and my soup and my homemade pot holder and everything. So I don't know, I hope it's kind of enjoyable and that we have a good laugh. So let's go watch. Hi everyone, welcome to the kitchen. I'm going to prove some yeast, but I figure might as well have a little talk while I do that. I just have my adorable 1 cup measure, and I'm going to put some yeast in it. I have about 3/4 cup of water, and the rest is milk, to make a cup or so of liquid. I'm making some bread for myself. I don't need that much. And I have the cutest little whisk. I love my little whisk. I use it for this. It just breaks up all the yeast nicely. I was just at the grocery store not long ago, only about an hour or so ago, and I got a few things that I needed, and I checked, and the cost of bread is really high, even for just the gross factory bread that has like no texture or nutrition or anything in it. It's like $5 for a loaf of like Wonder Bread. It's like, what? That stuff is so gross. Anyway, this is how you do it. You just break up the yeast into your liquid. Also, important tip in case you care, just microwave this for like 30-ish seconds, depending how hot your microwave is, to warm up the liquid so that it is not cold anymore, just to take the bite off. And then you can add your yeast like I just did here, and it will live. If it's too cold, the yeast will die. If it's too hot, the yeast will die. That's how it is. All right, so now I'm going to put on a timer so that this proves for 10 minutes. It's just the way of it. Here we are. Fridge. Flour, sugar, yeah, some just free basting. There we go. Just a little sugar. It's not a ton, because yeast likes sugar. you see. And we give it something to eat. Go. All right, I turned you around, but thankfully I turned the camera off for that part. So yeast and flour and stuff, it's going in the mixer now. This part gets loud, so that is dry. I'm gonna add some water. I forgot something. Butter. Butter makes everything better. See, that's too dry. Because I forgot, I need butter, obviously. So I'm melting some right now. 3, 2, 1, 0. Of course, I always kind of do this just because it'll cool the butter down a little bit. As I said earlier, yeast doesn't like to be mega hot. It gets upset and dies. So I don't want to be adding too much heat, but I do want this to be liquid. So these are the things. All right. Whole wheat flour needs lots more liquid. Note to self. Still dry. That's all right. My mixer has a timer on it, so I'm gonna let this mix by itself now. Mixing's done. I'm gonna see what we have. If I can. There we go. That's better. See, it doesn't really want to tear or anything, so that's a good thing. These are the things. But it will tear. So I think I'm going to add just a wee bit more water and then give it a couple more minutes. Well, now this goes to rise, and because I don't want to dirty any more dishes than necessary, I'm just going to let it rise in the mixing bowl. That's what I do. Ta-da! I'm just gonna cover it and put it up where it's up high where it's warmer. Also, I feel compelled to share an Irish writer's tea towel that I have. There's James Joyce, Sean O'Casey, Oscar Wilde, George Bernard Shaw, and W.B. Yeats, William Butler Yeats. I got it when I got married, so it's old, it's got holes in it. I intend to fix it someday, I promise. But until that day comes, this is what it looks like. All right, so obviously for copyright reasons, I can't be sharing the sound with you because I had records on all afternoon while I was doing this, and I was singing along. You will see me stopping and singing along sometimes throughout. But I am just, what I'm actually doing is basting my quilt sandwich section here. And it's a king-sized quilt, so it's really big. And so you'll see me wrestling around with it. Anyway, I just have my walking foot on my machine, and that way all the quilt sandwich will fit through in a reasonable way. So I'm just following all my seams to hold everything in place before I go to do free motion. Stab, stab, yes. I was having a fabric issue there, so I was getting annoyed and I got out my stiletto. So doing this process takes forever with a quilt this size because, oh yeah, there's my lipstick problem. Oops. Thankfully that will be cut off, so my lipstick stain won't be there forever. Anyway, this takes forever because the seams are very long and there's a lot of ground to cover. And every so often, like has happened here, the thread breaks and you gotta rethread your machine. Well, it's been an hour, so the bread is ready. Well, the dough is ready for rise number 2. But in order to do that, I gotta roll it. Wet. Do not be wet. Rolling pin. Thank you. It worked out nicely. Excellent. So I'm just going to roll it out. Word to the wise at this point, you could, with your bread rolled out, or dough, I should say, rolled out like this, you could spread butter on it and like brown sugar and cinnamon and nutmeg and stuff and make like cinnamon bread. It's super good. I like it. But I'm not doing that one. I'm not doing that today. I'm doing regular. So just make it into a log thing like this. I'm gonna put it in my pan. And now it sits again for another hour or so. And then it'll be ready to bake it. I'm gonna go listen to this. So again, you can watch me sing, but you're not really allowed to hear me sing. Copyright and all of that. But I just want to throw in here that the reason I listen to records as a format when I'm sewing is because it forces you to get up out of the chair and flip your record over, right? So it's like every, 20 minutes or however long a side of a record is. And it forces you to get up and stretch a little bit, which is really good because in my case, if I don't have reason to get up, then I likely won't. And I'll just keep sewing and kind of forget how long it's been and then wonder why my back and shoulders and neck are just like killing me the next day. That's why. So that's my little trick. It's also, nostalgic and fun to listen to records if you're so inclined. But that's my thing. And it helps to have music on too when this kind of thing happens, when your thread breaks. And you have to knot the ends off and thread a needle like I'm doing right there. And then I'm going to just bury the thread in the quilt sandwich. I'm checking I didn't go through to the back with my other hand. And there we are. I'm going to just cut the tails off and carry on with what I'm doing. That is an aspect of sewing that is annoying. So if you have music on and you're calm, those annoyances are much less aggravating. And singing, I think, helps with oxygenating you, too. I know that might sound weird, but I know in my case, it really does help to be breathing the way you do when you sing and just releasing the sounds. I don't know if that's a real thing or if I'm just imagining that, but it does seem to make me feel better. When I'm doing something like this, to have that sensory experience. I don't know. It's also kind of inspiring, too, to just feel the sounds. And you'll see me in a sec having fun trying to maneuver all of this fabric through because this is only one section of a king-sized quilt, but it in and of itself is quite large. But first, I'm going to wind some bobbins. That's what I'm doing right now. It's bobbin time because bobbins run out, and it's so sad when you find out you've only been sewing with the top thread and there's no bobbin in there. Man, that's depressing. So here I am being wise and digging out my spare empty bobbins so I can wrap some more. And I don't have to do it anymore for a time. Bobbin winding tip, if you care to have one. Hold the thread until it breaks when you start winding it. Anyway, off we go. More and more. More ditch stitching. And singing while I do it, so I don't lose my mind. I'm thinking happy thoughts and going, right, this is going to be on my bed soon, and it's going to be so soft and amazing. And there I am wearing it like a scarf. This is what you do with all that bulk. All right, let's check on the bread here. There it is. After an hour of rising, you see? And it's ready to get fired in the oven, like that. I baked it for about 40 minutes or so, 350. And while that happened, I continued to wear my quilt like a toga and keep ditch stitching until I was done. It is so rewarding to do all of this and feel the squish at the end. See, squish, yeah. And that's how it went. It went just fine. So I'm going to fold her up, and you'll see my intriguing way of sitting when I do in a sec here. Watch. There we go. My little baby pot holders that I use like puppets. Yeah. There we are. The bread is done. Yay! Super satisfying. You saw me be the little red hen who made her own bread. And now I'm going to flip it out, and we're going to call that all done. Yay! Well, let's hope that was entertaining. There were a few silly times in there that hopefully at least made you smile and enjoy what you have going on in your own life, because everything that I show off is just the way my regular life is, and therefore I'm sure your regular life is just as fun and entertaining and also mundane all at the same time. And now, because I've had my soup, I'm going to go ahead and have a slice of this cheesecake that I made in that other video. It's the cinnamon bun apple cheesecake. I just put some extra caramel topping on it. So that's ready for me now. So I guess I should do the thing. There's the subscribe up there and a video down there should you choose to view some more. It was nice to see you, and go have some cheesecake. Bye.